Yes, it is exactly 29 minutes to the top of the hour. That is of 10 a.m. This is Smart Means Business. I'm Andrew Obarije, and welcome to the Business Insight. Now, heading into very amazing matters here, we're talking about electric vehicles. Talk that has been all along, and majority, some of the East African nations have also adapted the usage of electric vehicles. And we know that China is holding a big market share when it comes to the distribution of electric vehicles on a global scale. Now, NCBA Uganda recently has unveiled its first electric vehicle charging station at its head office. That is marking a major step in the bank's change of the story sustainability agenda. Now, this definitely emphasizes a commitment to environmental responsibility and a social impact. Now, the launch coincided with the introduction of the Hyundai Kona EV into the bank's fleet. And of course, this was signaling a shift towards electric mobility that is within the organization. Now, Mark Mayobo, the bank's chief executive officer, said that the initiative is a part of NCBA's broader sustainability commitment to environmental sustainability. Now, this is what he said. He said in his own statement that this EV charging station represents a crucial step in their journey towards a sustainable future. And they firmly believe in responsible business practices and are committed to playing their part in mitigating climate change. Now, this initiative is a testament to their dedication to creating a greener tomorrow. Now, we know that transportation is a major contributor to the global carbon emissions. Now, by installing the electric vehicle charging stations and financing sustainable transportation options, NCBA is actively facilitating a transition away, and that is from fossil fuel dependence. Now, this crucial infrastructure plays a vital role in encouraging what we call the wider consumer adoption of electric vehicles. Now, of course, when we see the Change the Story campaign, which is deeply rooted in integrating what we call the environmentally friendly practices across all facets of its operations. Now, this comprehensive approach encompasses initiatives such as growing 10 million trees by 2030, eliminating the use of single-use plastics, maximizing waste recycling efforts. Now, by championing the EV infrastructure and financing, NCBA is definitely demonstrating that financial institutions can actually play a pivotal role in achieving what we call a national global sustainability, to achieving national and global sustainability goals. You know, that is what he said, if the financial institutions really partner together. I remember part of these initiatives was some time back when the banks actually made partnerships with some of these developers of green solutions to get them loans to access these technologies. Now this is quite a great initiative by a financial institution participating in the eradication of the carbon emissions and the planting of a huge number of trees by 2030. Now, the NCBA Group Director and Head of Group Strategy, that the group has identified sustainability as a key priority and has set 15 ambitious goals. Now, she said that the bank is committed, that is to working with private public sectors to drive waste recycling, green our supply chain, and importantly, mobilize financing for sustainable projects. Now, experts estimate that by 2030, widespread e-mobility adoption in Uganda could actually prevent 1.5 million tons of carbon emissions annually. Therefore, early adapters like the NCBA are not only paving the way for a transportation revolution, but also contributing to a more sustainable and resilient future in Uganda. Now, apart from investing in EV fleets and charging stations, the bank has also committed to grow at least 10 million trees, that is by 2030. Now, in addition to eliminating the use of single-use plastics and its operations, now the bank will maximize the waste recycling, green, that is its supply chain, align with the 2015 Paris Agreement, and reduce its financed emissions, that is by 2030. Now, NCBA Uganda sustainability efforts are guided by its change of the story framework, which encompasses a wide range of environmental, social, and governance initiatives, such as supporting sustainable projects through financial investments and reduce its carbon footprint through the various initiatives and engaging in the various social impact programs. Well, let's take a look at what really transpired as this was actually launched in Uganda.
As part of our sustainability program as NCBA Uganda, we are happy to be the first financial institution in Uganda to launch an EV charging station demonstrating our leadership as far as national and global sustainability agenda. We have been able to bring to life our program as far as sustainability, but most importantly bringing the asset finance solution that NCBA is known for in the region. The asset finance solution gives customers an opportunity to procure such assets like this one here, and that asset would actually be the security for that financing. But it's also most important for us to know that as part of the financing, we also need to be cognizant of the fact that we need to reduce on the carbon emissions that the vehicles are actually emitting and improving on our air quality. So it is certainly a pleasure that we are going in that right direction in financing this EV. Just to mention, it is estimated that annually by 2030, through the adoption of EV mobility, we should be able to prevent almost 1.5 million tons of carbon dioxide emission annually. So if we continue doing this, we certainly will be able to achieve this.
I think simple math would say if we're looking for 900 billion, we operate in 5 countries. You divide by 5, that should be the relevant share for Uganda. At least 200 billion we should be trying to mobilize towards Uganda-specific activities. I think what I would encourage Ugandans who are interested in this conversation is please show up at the branch, have a discussion with our staff. They are prepared to have a discussion with you around how do you get access to leasing, particularly because leasing is a much more accessible way to get access to an EV vehicle. We recognize that the cost of EV vehicles is not where we want it to be. And so that's where partnerships like with ourselves and Motorcare come in very handy. The slow payments over time will enable ordinary Ugandans to have access to these solutions. So have a conversation with our branches, have a conversation with Motorcare, and we'll help you lease a vehicle. I think the feasibility concerns are absolutely shared, and that's why, from our perspective, leasing becomes the model through which you'll be able to access these vehicles. We've also heard in my conversations with the country MD that the government had provided some tax concessions, particularly to companies that are thinking about switching out their fleets. Those lobbying efforts from ourselves and other banking partners will be critical, again, to reducing the cost of financing. I think it's a journey. Step 1 was making sure that we understand what sustainability means. We understand how these vehicles are. As you can imagine, even just driving around with it and ensuring that you understand that it drives exactly the same as a regular vehicle. So that journey of understanding is important. Then unlocking the financing becomes the next critical action, and the lobbying efforts are underway. Now, in terms of the rightful point that you mentioned on infrastructure, from our perspective, this is the first agenda. We've partnered with a landlord of these TWED towers, but we need to partner with more landlords who are bought onto the idea, but more importantly, start to partner actually with gas stations, petrol stations, because that's where most vehicles, even just mentally, you think about you need to fuel your car, you think about a petrol station. how do we make this an incremental offering at the petrol station that's a little different from your traditional diesel and petrol solutions. So from our perspective, particularly as a corporate bank, these B2B partnerships between ourselves, between the Shells and the Totals of the region become critical in unlocking scale.
Yeah, so EVs have actually picked up. So looking at the numbers as far as Uganda is concerned, we've seen a number of NGOs, of course, picking up on EVs. As a company, we've also picked up this, so this EV is part of our fleet. We've also seen other people like MTN also bringing them into their fleet. So that is actually picking up quite significantly. I believe maybe in a year it would be above 20 or 30 brand new vehicles that are actually EVs in the country. Of course, there are so many hybrids as well, because there is EV which is completely 100% electric, and then there is a hybrid. Hybrids have also picked up a lot, and of course we expect, with the publicity that we are giving and also the support that we are giving people, that EVs will certainly be able to be affordable.
That transportation is a major contributor, that is, to the global carbon emissions. Now, by installing the EV charging stations and financing what we call sustainable transportation options, the NCBA is actively facilitating a transition away from the fossil fuel dependency. Now, this crucial infrastructure plays a vital role in encouraging a wider consumer adoption of the electric vehicles. Well, thanks for being part of today's edition of Smart Means Business. I've been Andrew Barige since all the way where we kick started off to this particular time as we calling it a goodbye. And of course, as we head into the weekend, time to strategize, and we're entering a new month, that is in February. Time to strategize and see how far we've gone when it comes to achieving our goals and the targets for the year 2025. Wishing you a very happy weekend, and we shall be getting in touch again come Monday. A very good morning.
Smart 24, driving business.
Here's a business quote to inspire you. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Remember, kids, no matter what your dreams are, it's all about putting in more effort every day. So keep working hard and stay positive.
Smart 24, driving